Well, good evening and welcome to the 6 o'clock news. It's Saturday the 22nd of October. I'm Gary Hepburn and thank you for joining me. And in the news this week, health organisations in Dorset have secured £13 million of extra finance to transform 2 floors of Southwark's house in Dorset into clinical space. Dorset County Hospital has been running an 8-patient assessment centre on 1 floor of the building, which is owned by Dorset Council since last November. This was initially set up as a temporary measure to tackle NHS waiting lists and was created in partnership with NHS Dorset, Dorset Healthcare, Active Dorset and Live Well Dorset. Patients are invited to attend orthopaedic, musculoskeletal and physiotherapy appointments in the building. The centre has been a great success, and in March, Dorset County Hospital signed a 20-year lease with Dorset Council to use 3 additional floors of the building on a long-term basis. This will allow the Trust to maximise the use of clinical space on the main hospital site. The building will be used for a combination of clinical and office purposes, with non-clinical teams already using 2 floors of the building. A targeted investment fund bid worth £13 million was submitted to NHS Improvement to help turn the temporary centre into a more permanent facility and expand the clinical services offered at Southwark's house. The refurbishment will include 8 patient clinics, diagnostics, day case capacity and a procedure room, all on site. While the building works are carried out, the 8-patient assessment centre at Southwark's house will be temporarily relocated to Vespasian House in Dorset to allow the essential works to be carried out. The pop-up centre will use space in Vespasian House, previously used by NHS Dorset. The aim is that the 8-patient assessment centre and all the additional clinical services will start operating from Southwark's house in June next year, June 2023. Now, we've learnt today that a local bus service is to cease operating on the 23rd of November after the operator has said that the local authority's subsidy is to stop and the service is therefore no longer viable. The 206 service runs between Wyke, Regis and Weymouth and is used mainly by local elderly people and those who do not have their own transport to access shops, banks and other services in Weymouth town centre. A petition has been started, and if you'd like to sign that petition, you can find a link on the Wyke Regis TV Facebook page, and we would obviously invite local residents to sign that petition. Local residents are asking that as many people as possible sign the petition to see if that service can be saved, and we will bring you more on that next week. Dorset Council is to provide an additional winter payment of up to £1,000 to all homes for Ukrainian hosts, both current and new, and a further £250 per month to hosts continuing to provide refuge for their guests after the initial 6-month period. Homes for Ukraine hosts have been receiving £350 a month as a thank you payment from the government since guests started to arrive in Dorset 6 months ago. The council has agreed to provide additional funds to further support these hosts who are able to continue to offer their homes to Ukrainian refugees. Councillor Laura Beddoe, who is the portfolio holder for Culture, Communities and Customer Services, said, "We are pleased to announce this additional support which will enable local hosts to cover their increased cost of living while continuing to provide a safe haven to those Ukrainian refugees who have fled from the horrors of war." Using the Homes for Ukraine funding from the government, up to £1,000 will be given per host household, with 2 payments made on a case-by-case basis in November and February. The additional £250 per month will be provided to current hosts from month 7 up to month 12 of their hosting. This is in addition to the existing monthly £350 thank you payment. Now, further information about the Homes for Ukraine scheme and information for current and potential hosts and guests is available on the Dorset Council website at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk/refugee-programme-in-Dorset. But if you just look for refugee programme on the Dorset Council website, I'm sure you'll find it very easy without remembering that long website. Now, Dorset Police is urging the public to remain vigilant following an increased number of reports of scams involving the WhatsApp Messenger. The unsuspecting WhatsApp user receives a message on WhatsApp pretending to be from a family member in need of urgent help. The message comes from an unknown number and states something similar to their phone is broken, dropped down the toilet, or the microphone doesn't work, and they cannot access their online banking. They need to urgently transfer money to another bank account to pay for a bill, fine, or something similar. The victim transfers the money to the bank account which has been provided by the scammer. Then they receive another message requesting a further bill is paid, then another, etc., etc. At some point the victim realises that these requests are out of the ordinary and suddenly realises they have been scammed. Of course, if money has been paid, it can be difficult to get it back, but of course you should contact your bank immediately. This is what's called a push payment fraud, where the victim has authorised the payment to another party, and it's up to the bank whether they will refund the money or not. Now, Investigations Officer Martin Forder of Dorset Police said, "We would like to make the public aware of this scam and encourage anyone who has been a victim of a similar incident to please report it to Dorset Police and to Action Fraud." Now, Action Fraud is the national organisation that deals with this sort of online fraud. And Martin went on to say, if you receive this type of message, please check the authenticity of it. Make a call to that family member on a number you know is theirs, or alternatively go and visit them if this is practical. If you're in any doubt, do not engage with these messages or send any money. And I like to think if these messages seem a little bit out of the ordinary or unusual, then they probably are a scam. So beware. Martin went on to say, we would like to ask people to look out for family members or neighbours and make sure that they are aware of this scam as well. If you believe you have been scammed or targeted by scammers, you can contact Dorset Police on the non-emergency number 101. And you should also report anything to Action Fraud. And the website for Action Fraud is www.actionfraud.police.uk, or you can phone them on 0300 123 2040. That's 0300 123 2040. Now, homeless people from the east of the county are being exported to the Dorset Council area, putting extra strain on local services. The claim comes from Weymouth councillor John Arell, who says that practice is unfair and has to stop. He's also warning that Weymouth is getting a reputation as a good place for homeless people to come to, further adding to the pressure on local services. Now, Councillor Arell says a Freedom of Information request to Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole councils showed that between January and July, 35 people were sent by that council to live in the west of the county in Dorset. 25 of them were sent to Weymouth, where hotels were mainly used to accommodate them. He claims that other homeless people have also been turning up in the resort because they had been told it was a place where there was plenty of accommodation available. He said these include a couple from more than 100 miles away, which he claimed had been causing all sorts of trouble in the town since their arrival. Another Dorset councillor, Robin Cook, said that the Dorset towns often attracted homeless people because residents were kind and charitable. He said that Wimborne had seen an influx of homeless people for a few weeks because word had spread that local people would be readily offering them money to buy sandwiches or to buy them sandwiches. He claimed that having good services often resulted in attracting people from outside the area, although the support system run by Dorset Council and charities was only designed for homeless people who have a local connection. Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Council say moving some of their homeless residents to Dorset was only a temporary solution, while more permanent accommodation could be found in its own area. Now, Dorset police officers investigating a burglary in Weymouth are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. The burglary occurred at an address in Jordan Way between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Wednesday the 19th of October. Entry was gained to the property and a PlayStation 5 games console was stolen. Police Constable Erin Kinghorn of Dorset Police said, "We are conducting inquiries into this burglary and I would urge anyone who witnessed any suspicious activity in the area around the relevant time to please get in touch with us. I would also ask any residents in the vicinity with home CCTV systems or doorbell cameras to please check their footage for anything that might assist with their inquiries." Anyone with information can contact Dorset Police on 101, or if you wish to give the information anonymously via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. Now, not directly happening in our area, but sticking with something that annoys people and is not really crime, but it's more something that's causes a disturbance. I'm sure Weymouth and Portland residents are interested to hear that a trial of noise cameras is going ahead in 4 areas of the country to tackle rowdy drivers. The trials are happening in Bradford, Bristol, Great Yarmouth and Birmingham. New noise detection traffic cameras are being trialled in these 4 areas to crack down on boy racers revving engines and using illegal exhaust. Trials backed by £300,000 of government investment, as annual social costs of road noise pollution are estimated at £10 billion. The trial uses a new age road camera designed to identify and track drivers who break the law by revving engines and using modified exhausts. The new technology uses a video camera in conjunction with a number of microphones to accurately pinpoint excessive noisy vehicles as they pass by. This means that if drivers break the law by revving their engines unnecessary or using illegal exhaust, they will automatically be detected. The camera takes a picture of the vehicle and records the noise level to create a digital package of evidence which can be used by local police to find drivers. Now, road noise is known to contribute to lots of health problems such as heart attacks, strokes and dementia, and the annual social cost of urban road noise, including lost productivity from sleep disturbance and health costs, is estimated to be around £10 billion. Transport Secretary Anne-Marie Trevelyan said, "Rowdy road drivers beware. These new cameras will help the police clamp down on those who break the legal noise limits or use illegal modified exhaust to make excessive noise in our communities. We'll be working closely with the local authorities and police to share any findings, and I hope this technology paves the way for quieter, peaceful streets across the country." Now, the trials will continue for 2 months across the 4 areas, and the department continues to work closely with all local authorities and MPs to tackle rowdy illegal noise disruption traffic. And of course, if these trials are successful, then we're likely to see this rolled out throughout the country at some stage in the future. Now, Dorset Council and Citizens Advice are asking people to think carefully before committing to equity release schemes. This is where people buy a share of your property and give you money so that you've got money to spend. Equity release is a term for a range of schemes whereby funds are released from your property. Reasons for taking out equity release vary, but with the increase in the cost of living, people are looking to supplement their income, especially those on a fixed pension. These schemes often give people considerably less than the market value of their home and can require some upfront costs, including arrangements fees, legal fees, and a survey of the property. Now, before taking out any new loan or signing up onto any equity release scheme, residents are encouraged to shop around and seek independent financial advice. Many providers do offer some reassurances, such as a no negative equity guarantee, meaning the money to be paid back will never be more than the total value of the property. However, this still means the market value may be taken up by interest and other costs. Now, Councillor Laura Beddow, Dorset Council Cabinet Member for Culture, Communities and Customer Service, said it's important that residents shop around and look at all the options before signing onto any scheme. We encourage residents to seek advice with organisations such as Citizens Advice to see if there are other benefits or assistance available. These organisations can signpost residents onto independent financial advice before making a decision. Now, the other thing is that Citizen Advice run an income maximisation sessions in Dorset libraries. These free sessions are run by specialist advisors who can advise on money-related topics, including budgeting and debt. They can also check benefits and charitable grant entitlements. For more information and to book onto one of those sessions, that's the income maximisation sessions run by Citizens Advice, you can call a Dorset Advice line on 0800 144 8848. That's 0800 144 8848, or you can visit www.citizensadvicedorset.org.uk. Now, problems continue. A specialist school, Coombe House Specialist School, with fewer pupils than planned and many teaching posts filled by agency staff and little likelihood of a permanent head teacher for several months. Now, this is Coombe House Special School that's located near Shaftesbury. It has been revealed that Dorset Council staff are continuing to offer support to the independent school, and its school budget is having to be reassessed along with the business plan. When the school reopened in mid-September, it had 36 pupils on the roll, compared to 47 in the previous term when it first opened, and significantly less than the 100 pupils it was planned that the school would provide services for. When the school was originally purchased by Dorset Council for £10 million after the former St Mary's private school that was in the property closed. 16 pupils who briefly attended the school in the spring have since had to be found places elsewhere after it was decided they should not return to the campus. Some parents took to social media earlier in the year to claim the large school environment was not suitable for every child, and said that the site was not ready when it opened, with building work still taking place. Dorset Council admitted at the time that the first few weeks had been bumpy, which had led to some staff, including senior roles, leaving just weeks after being recruited. An update this week said the progress is now being made, with the staff saying they are being supported and the pupils feeling that they are in a safe environment. But Dorset councillors were told that residential care and short break provisions had been paused, as not all posts on the board of directors had been filled. And although an interview for a position specialising in finance was to be held this week. The school is now being run by an interim head who also acts as managing director, Dr. Sharina Classens, who took up the post at the end of August. Now, this is an ongoing story which I'm sure we will return to in a later programme. Now, a pirate is making a plea to be reunited with a pistol he describes as his pride and joy. And you can see a picture of the pistol on the screen. Richard Winter lost the blank firing flintlock pistol at Weymouth Pirate Fest last Saturday evening and is desperate to be reunited with it. He thinks he lost the Tower pistol, which has a monetary value of around £400, somewhere between the Belvedere Inn and the Boot Inn, or possibly at the car park where the festival stage was. Mr. Winter, who comes from Melbury Osborne, is offering a £50 reward for the return of the pistol, which he would like to would take to pirate festivals up and down the country. Mr. Winter said it's his pride and joy, and he's prepared to give a £50 reward because the pistol does mean a lot to him. It has sentimental value. It's quite heavy, and it's something I purchased from a friend. It's a blank firer, it doesn't need a licence or anything, it's just a bit noisy when you fire it. On the Saturday evening, Mr. Winter noticed his pistol was missing when he got to the town bridge, and he'd previously been in the Belvedere watching the Dolman perform outside the Boot Inn and also inside the Boot Inn. Now, Penny Pledger is the daughter of the person who rescued the famous Flying Scotsman steam engine, and she waved off the first train on the Swanage Railway today. The record-breaking locomotive is visiting the Heritage Railway to haul trains for 5 days, after which it will be on static display at Swanage Station until November the 6th. It was Penny Pledger's late father, the entrepreneur Alan Pledger, who purchased the Nigel Greasley designed Flying Scotsman from British Railways in 1963 for £3,000, saving it from being cut up for scrap. It is now owned by the National Railway Museum in York. Now, Penny, who lives in Portugal, is visiting the Swanage Railway to see the engine be waved off when it departed from Swanage Station just after 10 o'clock this morning. Penny was riding behind the engine in the luxurious 1940s Pullman Devon Bell observation carriage known as Car 14. That journey to Corfe Castle and Norden will bring back fond memories for Penny, who as a teenager rode in that same carriage behind the Flying Scotsman in the late 1960s and early 1970s, while the train undertook a tour of Canada and the United States to promote British exports. Dedicated volunteers with the Swanage Railway Trust restored the historic wooden carriage, which sports large glass windows on 3 sides, after they rescued the grounded vehicle from San Francisco during 2007, where it was being used as a static bar. And finally, in our headlines tonight, Weymouth Bonfire Night celebrations return with a bang this November. Weymouth Town Council will host a free Guy Fawkes event on Saturday the 5th of November with a fantastic firework display on Weymouth's famous seafront. Excuse me. The fun starts from 4 p.m. with a family fun fair on the Pavilion forecourt, along with stalls on the seafront, which will be in place throughout the evening. A giant beach bonfire will be lit at 7:40 p.m, followed by the firework display over Weymouth Bay at 8 p.m. The fireworks for the display will be provided by Pyrotechnics and launched from the boat HM Denham. Councillor Anne Weaving, Mayor of Weymouth, said this year's Guy Fawkes event on November the 5th falls on a Saturday, so why not put the date in your diary and make a weekend of it in Weymouth. As well as the fantastic display at 8 p.m, the beach bonfire will be lit 20 minutes beforehand, and the fun fair starts from 4 p.m, so there's plenty to entertain everyone at this popular event, which always draws a huge crowd. People attending the event's activities are asked where possible to leave their cars at home and use public transport, or consider walking or cycling to the town centre. There we go, that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, we often mention in our programme, or we have mentioned several times over the years that we've been operating, the digital champions. These are people who are available on the telephone and in local places like libraries across Dorset. Digital champions are a group of friendly volunteers who are good at explaining about computers without using complex jargon. They have an enthusiasm for all things digital and look forward to the chance to show you how it works. They offer digital support for a wide range of issues, and no problem is too small. They can help you set up and use your devices, including mobile phones, tablets and computers. They can help you get online and show you how to do home shopping. They can help you access NHS digital services. They can set up things like Skype and Zoom so that you can keep in contact with family and friends. And if you haven't got any IT, and it would help you, particularly if you've got any disabilities or anything, they can help you search for funding online so that you may get help with the purchase of those sorts of devices. Now, in the south of Dorset, down in the Weymouth and Portland area, they have meeting places that they are at set times. They're at Portland Library the first and third Tuesday of the month from 2 to 3:30. They're at Weymouth Library every Tuesday from 2 till 4 p.m. and they're at Wyke Regis Library every Wednesday at 2:30, 3:30 and 4:30. Let's hear about the work of the Digital Champions and what they do.
We live in a digital world, and for some of us that can be confusing. But that's where our digital champions come in.
One of our skills is just sitting, listening, drawing out from people what they're trying to do and the problems they're having. I'm a volunteer digital champion here in Dorset, one of a team of 40. We operate right across the county, running free sessions with people that want to know more about the internet, want to get more out of things, helping with setting up an email or doing a video call to a family member, all the way through to online shopping and so on.
He was able to help me with iCloud and settings and so on. But what he did really was just make me not afraid of it.
I am a library assistant at Dorchester Library. As part of that role, I also answer calls on the Dorset Digital Hotline. The Digital Hotline has helped nearly 2,000 people since it was launched. We're here between 10 and 12 noon every day to help with any digital problem that you might be having.
If you don't have a device, we may be able to help with that.
and better thing, the more kind, more fantastic.
We're also training 1,000 staff and volunteers who work in organisations across Dorset as embedded digital champions.
It's really to help people develop their own digital skills and then give them a greater awareness of the problems sort of faced by people getting online, by members of the community.
Definitely come and see them. Definitely make an appointment, because you will not regret it. This is a digital world now, and get stuck in there.
If you need help with digital technology, visit our libraries, book an appointment with a digital champion, or contact our digital hotline.
There we go. That's the digital champions there, volunteers and some members of staff that have been trained up in places like libraries to help as well. Now you can get in touch with them via the digital helpline, as you saw on screen, on 01305 221048, selecting option 2. You can leave a message if they don't answer, and they will call you back and help you over the telephone. They're available on weekdays, excluding bank holidays, from 10 a.m. to midday. And obviously you can pop along to Wyke Regis Library, Weymouth Library, or to Portland and see a digital champion in person to help you with your IT issues. Now, moving on, we recently had a beer and cider festival in Weymouth at the Pavilion. And of course, many years ago, Weymouth had its own brewery. And many of the large breweries have now gone from across the county and beyond. And in Dorset, or certainly in West Dorset, the only breweries left are Palmer's in Bridport and Hall and Woodhouse in Blandford. That's large breweries. But of course, many smaller or micro breweries have appeared and have actually developed into very, very good businesses, and have meant that a wide range of real ales or craft ales are available for those that enjoy that. And one such brewery is the Piddle Brewery. Now, Piddle Brewery, which is in Piddle Hinton, is set up among the rolling chalk hills 5 miles from the county town at Dorchester, just down the road from Puddletown, which incidentally was originally called Piddletown, apparently. Brewing only started in 2007, but they now brew high-quality traditional beers with maximum taste. They say their success comes from the perfect combination of local water, their unique brewing recipe, and great yeast. And from 2016, they've also been producing cider as well. Well, recently, Wayne Jones, who is from Everything Dorset, paid them a visit to find out more.
So this is Wayne from Everything Dorset, and today I'm in Piddle Hinton at Piddle Brewery, and I'm with the owner, Ian, and he's going to talk to us about his business. So Ian, how long have you been here for as a brewery?
I think we're on our 8th anniversary, plus or minus a day or so.
Oh, brilliant. So you're well established here.
We've been here 8 years anyway. Whether that puts us for well established, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Ian, you're very well known for your very interesting names for your beers. Where do all the names for the beers come from? Do you come up with them yourself, or do customers come up with them, or staff members?
It's a great question. You have to a little bit start with the history of the brewery. The brewery was formed by 2 gentlemen that owned the George in Christchurch, and they integrated backwards into making their own beers. Unfortunately, running the George and 2 other pubs and making beer was a bit of a challenge for them, and they created quite a few of the names. They put the business into administration, and I bought it out about 8 years ago. And I bought some of the names and I killed some of the names. So the biggest name is Piddle, and Piddle comes from the local river here. We're often asked, do we use Piddle water? But if you're close enough, the brook is about a yard wide at this particular point, and we would use a lot more water than the Piddle producers. Local environmentalists would say, I'm not so sure. But it is close, it's about 50 yards away, and it goes all the way to Wareham.
Fantastic. So Ian, what's your personal favourite name of beer you have? If you had to choose one.
I have to choose one. I think Cole Porter. Probably because it's my favourite beer. Maybe there's something in that. Yeah, I think it's our best. Thanks, Wolf. We're only doing a video. I think it's a porter. I'm an older, as you can see, with my long, beautiful, growing hair. It's a more mature beer, but it's, I think, our tastiest and best beer. So that's probably why I like the name the most.
Right. And can you also tell us about your lagers? Because I understand you're literally the only lager producer in Dorset, is that correct?
Well, you've got to be careful on videos whether we're the only one, I'm not sure. We're certainly one of a few. And I think we're in an elite club of making two. So we have two lagers. We have a Pilsner lager, which was based off a Czech recipe. And it's very similar to the European lagers that you get. They call them beers, we call them lagers, but the taste is very similar. We have a carbonation level that is lower than some of our competitors, making it somewhat easier to drink, but people who are used to drinking highly carbonated lagers find it a little on the flatter side. It's intentionally done so to reflect a more European type beer. And if people who like it are people who will drink both beer and lager.
Okay.
So it's aimed at that market.
And you also have a gluten-free beer, is that right?
So I haven't finished on my lagers. I have two lagers, and I have another lager which we're just renaming called Morning Dew, which is much more in the standard sector of the market, but it's still tastier than the average lager. It's still got more taste to it, but it's more mainstream, and the price reflects on the difference. So to answer your question now, like a politician, we make it gluten-free. Again, I don't know how many people make gluten-frees, but we do. It's not the world's biggest market, but it's good to show that we can make these type of beers. The key issue I faced when I bought the brewery administration is that Piddle had a terrible reputation for quality. A terrible reputation. Frankly, probably deserved. It probably took us 2 or 3 years to eradicate all the problems that gave poor quality beer. And it then has taken another 2 or 3 years to change the market. So a lot of people who drank beers 7 or 8 years ago tell you our beers are not good quality. They were not 7 or 8 years ago or 9 years ago. They are now. Our beers are really good quality beers. We're SALSA registered. I think, again, number of people in this county who are SALSA registered that make beer are fingers of one hand.
Yeah.
We've really focused high on a high quality type of beer. Of course, like every cask producer, you get the odd one.
Yeah.
We have an error rate of less than 1%.
Fantastic. Great stuff. So, obviously, you sell your beers online. If somebody wants to try one of your beers locally in a pub, where would they go? Where would you
Well,
recommend?
a bit depends on where they live, because we go across Hampshire and Dorset. So, if you're in Hampshire, there's a lovely bar called the Wash House in Milton-on-Sea, and we are permanently there. We're at the Go-To Downton. And we're also in the Ship in Swanage, so there are lots of places, lots of pubs. I think we have about 80 or 90 pubs that we sell to with a degree of regularity.
Fantastic. And can people also come to the brewery to collect beer?
No,
Okay.
with that it's more difficult. COVID changed everybody's life. One of the things that changed for us is that we weren't allowed to have people visit the brewery during COVID. We decided that actually, particularly in the summer months when we're very busy, was very beneficial. So now you can buy beer online and collect it at the brewery, but you have to pre-order and pre-book. We have no facility to take cash payments at the brewery.
That's no problem. So you recommend people obviously ordering online?
If you order online on our website, it says collect at the brewery, you just press a tick, and there's obviously no delivery charge.
And also your beers are available in local shops as well, garden centres, that kind of thing?
Lots of local shops, lots of garden centres, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so what is your website address, Ian?
Piddlebrewry.co.uk.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
well, it's been lovely speaking today, Ian, and best of luck with your lagers.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
There we go. That's Wayne from Everything Dorset talking to Piddle Brewery. Well, it's that time in the programme now that we go over to our regular contributor Andrew Wright for the film review and a preview.
Welcome to Wyke Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This weekend marks the big theatrical release of DC's Black Adam, starring Dwayne Johnson as the titular DC anti-hero. Nearly 5,000 years after he was bestowed with the power of the Egyptian gods and imprisoned, Black Adam is freed from his tomb, ready to unleash his unique form of justice upon the modern world. The film also features a supporting cast led by Pierce Brosnan, featuring Aldous Hodge, Sarah Shahi and Quintessa Swindell. The film also features actors Djimon Hounsou, Viola Davis and Jennifer Holland, returning from previous DCEU media. The film was directed by Jaume Collet Serra, who most recently gained international attention for directing Disney's Jungle Cruise, also starring Johnson. The film is in cinemas this weekend, courtesy of Warner Brothers Pictures. This week, a trailer for the third Creed film in the Rocky film series was released. The film stars Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, and Jonathan Majors, and is the directorial debut of lead star Jordan. The film is also notable for being the first film in the Rocky film series to not feature actor Sylvester Stallone as his iconic character Rocky Balboa, which earned him 2 Oscar nominations for acting and writing. However, he remains credited as a producer on the film. The film is set 5 years after 2018's Creed 2 and features Jordan's character Adonis Creed at the top of the boxing world and thriving in both his career and personal life, but his life begins to suffer a hiccup when his childhood friend, who was a boxing prodigy, was released from a long stint in prison and is eager to prove himself in the ring with nothing to lose. The film is in UK cinemas next March, courtesy of Warner Brothers Pictures. Next week is the home video release of Bullet Train, the latest action film from director David Leitch. The film is based on a Japanese novel and stars Brad Pitt as a reluctant assassin who must fight other assassins to retrieve a mysterious briefcase aboard a bullet train, a Japanese high-speed train. The film also features an ensemble cast featuring the likes of Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, and Sandra Bullock, but also features known Japanese actors such as Hawaii Five-O's Masi Oka, The Boys' Karen Fukuhara, and veteran character actor Hiroyuki Sanada, most notable for his roles in projects such as Westworld and Avengers Endgame. The film received mixed reviews from critics but was a small box office success. I will attempt to review it next week, but I can't make any promises due to the impact of the Royal Mail strikes. The future of The Flash in the DCEU is currently in question due to actor Ezra Miller currently facing 26 years in prison on burglary charges in the US state of Vermont. The actor is most famous for playing Credence in the Fantastic Beasts films, as well as the superhero The Flash in the DCEU, including the character's 2023 solo film. Warner Brothers Discovery have issued a statement stating that they will not be able to recast Miller in the film due to the fact that they portray multiple versions of the character and are present in nearly every scene. However, the studio has confirmed that all options are on the table, including cancelling the film's release, despite the fact that it is being received positively by test audiences. A script for a sequel has been written, but the studio has confirmed that Miller's involvement is unlikely. Miller's scandals have largely taken place over the last 2 years and involved strangling and harassment allegations, as well as arrests in Hawaii for second-degree assault, as well as allegations of their Vermont farm acting as a sort of cult. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will review Black Adam. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew. And as Andrew said, he's going to review Black Adam next week, which was released last night. And just to give you a taster and know what he's on about next week, here's a bit from Black Adam.
Before a world of heroes and villains, one power ruled it all. Black Adam.
He's been asleep for 5,000 years.
Black Adam, we're here to negotiate your peaceful surrender.
I'm not peaceful. Nor do I surrender. These powers are not a gift, but a curse. Born out of rage.
You have two choices.
You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior.
There we go. So more about that next week from Andrew. We now come to that part in the programme where we have the national weather forecast. And this week we're going over to Alex Deakin at the Met Office.
Thanks for joining me for this national weather update. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit subscribe. Low pressure dominates the weather charts at the moment. This one bringing plenty of showers during Friday night, and this one will bring further bands of showers up from the southwest through the weekend. But between the two weather systems, there is a bit of a respite, a bit of a dry slot, certainly for much of England and Wales. Saturday it will be mostly dry until this next system, as I say, brings further bands of showers north during Saturday night and on Sunday. And if we rewind the clock and take a look at where our air is coming from, the winds go anti-clockwise around low pressure systems. So when they're approaching from the southwest, it's always drawing up air from the south, and it's really quite warm at the moment through parts of Spain and France, and that mild air will continue to waft in across the UK. So it is going to stay mild through this weekend, and the bands of showers will provide some sunny spells in between, and when the sun's out, it'll, as I say, feel pretty mild for the time of year during the course of the weekend. But more showers coming into the southwest though, and they don't stop there. They'll spread more widely across Wales, into Northern Ireland, northwest England, and eventually into parts of southern Scotland during Saturday night and into Sunday. And then look at this, another band of rain. And this could be really quite heavy during the early hours of Sunday morning, and then through Sunday, spreading more widely over northern England, eastern England, Northern Ireland, and then into southern and central Scotland. To the south of that, it'll brighten up for a time, but again, guess what? More showers coming into the southwest as the breeze starts to pick up. Again, when the sun pops out between the bands of showers, temperatures well above average for the time of year, 17, 18 degrees, and even across Scotland, 15 degrees is likely. So again, above average in those brighter spells. So it's a bit of a mixed picture through the course of the weekend. There will be bands of showers moving through, but it's always staying mild, and it stays mild into next week as well, which is important, I guess, if you're on half term. Keep up to date with the latest forecasts by following the Met Office right across social media.
Thank you very much there, Alex. And to see what the local weather's got in store for us this week, there comes our weather widget. As expected, still quite mild, that warm air that Alex mentioned there, still across the south of the UK. Changeable, some sunny periods, some cloudy periods, and of course the rain. I don't know what it's like where you live, but it's quite damp here. And we've got lots of leaves everywhere from the wind from last week. So tomorrow will be taken up by brushing up leaves once again here in windy Wyke. Now, looking at our What's On session and what is coming up over the next few weeks. First of all, to mention Weymouth Pavilion, 25th of October, 10cc in concert, 27th of October, Beth Nielsen Chapman, Crazy Town Tour, 28th of October, ELO again, 29th of October, Legends of American Country, 30th of October, Bootleg 60s, and the 2nd of November, an evening with snooker greats Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor. I imagine that'd be quite a good evening if snooker is your thing. Quite an interesting evening there with those two former snooker greats. Now, the Pavilion box office is at weymouthpavilion.com online or on 01305 783 225. Now, the North Fort is busy this week with its Halloween fun for all the family, running from today through to the 30th. Do visit their website for more. Tonight we have got obviously our quiz at 7:30. So don't forget that if you enjoy a quiz. Things coming up in Wyke, Regis. All Saints Church Wyke have got their Not Quite the Last Night of the Proms concert next Saturday, the 29th of October at 7 p.m. The following Sunday, Nota Bene Choir, 6th of November at 6 p.m. There's also options there to have supper after the concert. All of the tickets and information for those available on www.parishofwykeregis.org.uk. Now, I've just had one slip in after I'd done the plan for tonight's programme. Weymouth Arts Group, in fact I'm going to try and put their picture up there. The Weymouth Arts Group are pleased to announce that they're holding their first exhibition for over 2 years on Tuesday the 1st of November at the South Hill Community Hall from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So that's Tuesday the 1st of November. Visitors can enjoy free parking at the adjacent car park, free entry and free tea and coffee, whilst enjoying a wide selection of pictures, cards and other works in a variety of mediums that will be available to enjoy and to purchase. And there's one of the paintings up there on the screen. We'll tell you more about that next week. So that came in today. Now, Arts Reach, we often mention Arts Reach. They are very, very busy this week. They're always really good when it's school holidays. And there's a lot going on this week all over Dorset, and quite a few quite close to us. So, Arts Reach. Thumbelina by the Norwich Puppet Theatre is at the Powerstock Hut at Bridport, 11 a.m. on Tuesday. That's the 25th of October. The Midnight Mission, a brave, bold drama, is in Gillingham Library, 11 a.m. on Wednesday, the 26th of October. The Selfish Giant, Tessa Bide and Soup Theatre, is at Cerne Abbas Village Hall, 3:30 on Wednesday, the 26th of October, and Alderhope Village Hall, 2:30 on Thursday, the 27th. From Hebrides to Padstow, Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra on your doorstep is at the Exchange Sturminster Newton, 7:30 on Thursday evening, the 27th of October. And one very, very close to us, the Syrian Baker from Farnham Maltings is at Portisham Village Hall, 7:30 p.m. on Friday. That's the 28th of October. And Sturminster Marshall Memorial Hall, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday the 29th of October. Now, lots of those are children friendly. For more information and to book tickets, pop along to the Arts Reach website, www.artsreach.co.uk, and you can actually sign up for their mailing list, and they will send you their publication. Now, church services in Wyke Regis this week. Regular services at All Saints tomorrow, 8 o'clock and 9:30. The 9:30 will be live stream, and 11 o'clock at St Edmunds. And as we said earlier, our quiz is on tonight at 7:30. Looking at traffic and travel. Let's get our traffic and travel logo up there. Here we go, traffic and travel. There's a bus replacement service on the railways between Bournemouth and Eastleigh this weekend, and further industrial action has been announced for Thursday the 3rd of November, Saturday the 5th of November and Monday the 7th of November. So unfortunately there are more disruptions due on the railways. Now, major roadworks this week, and these are ones where there's traffic control or diversions: Philbarn Drive, Chaffees Avenue, Dorchester Road, Littermore Road, Eastern Street on Portland, and there's still disruption going on around the the town centre there, where the works on the town bridge. So there we go. Now that brings us almost to the end of this week's programme. Don't forget, if you've got any events coming up, any fundraising events, anything you're doing that you want to share with the people of Wyke, or if you've got any stories for us, like the Wyke bus that's unfortunately looks like they're going to stop, do drop us an email. We're here to help you get the message out to the community. news@wykeregis.tv. Now I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm going to leave you tonight with a taster of one of the Arts Reach things, the one that's coming up in Portion Village Hall on Friday evening. So I'll say goodnight. I will see you next Saturday at 6 p.m. and I'm going to leave you with a taster of the Syrian baker from Farnham Maltings, which will be this Friday, coming Friday, 28th of October, Portion Village Hall at 7:30. Enjoy the taster, and I'll see you next week. Good night.
Everything from Farnham Maltings has been this sort of in the round, intimate type environment, and I think certainly with these numbers you feel a real engagement with the actors, and there's a personal connection which you just don't get in a big theatre.
Still tastes good. Karim, Holmes, Jamal, Aleppo.
It is not bombs that are strong, not men with sticks and guns. It is this, an act of kindness from a stranger to another. That is the thing.
It becomes a personal storytelling, and I think that's what Farnham Maltings do at their best, is telling stories.
Love the food, the smell is amazing. It was something I would never thought of putting in a play, so that was really brilliant, really enjoyed it.
In Syria, we are the bread. The bread is us.
I think it's really great because you get to reach other people that you wouldn't normally reach, that people who maybe wouldn't go and see a show because they wouldn't travel, but if it's on your doorstep, then you're more likely to do it.
It is the man with the yeast and the oil and the flour is in charge. Not for long, maybe, but for now. Yes, for now.
It was dramatic, it was really humorous, but it was also very real. It had a true story to tell outside of Syria. And I watched other people around me, and I think that it brought that reality to their doorstep.
And that's the end of our story.
The Syrian baker.